Hello, this is Tu-Ho, correspondent for EnterTalk Media, and you're watching Gear Previews at NAMM 2018, brought to you by Pitbull Audio. And we are here at Music Marketing Inc., and we have the president of Music Marketing Inc., Mr. Ray Williams. We will be featuring in this video 3 products that are available at Pitbull Audio, including Positive Grid, FabFilter, and Wave Arts. And I wanted to know directly from the president a little bit about why are musicians out there, everything from the beginner musician who's trying to learn more about software and how to create music that way, all the way up to the advanced musician who already has their own studio. Why should they be looking into these products? So tell us a little bit more, please.
Well, thank you. One of the reasons they should be looking into these products is ease of use, okay? These products, for example, if you want to use something as complicated and as sort of abstract as a compressor, we have tools from FabFilter that would visualize compression. So for somebody that doesn't know how a compressor works, they can probably follow the visual to see what's happening to your audio signal, right? So it makes it very easy. Now for somebody that's more advanced even, it's better to have the visualization than to still stick with the abstract or just listen to your ear. So there are a lot of benefits for everyone. Now, when you look at something like Positive Grid, if it's in a very practical way, if you're a guitar player and you like to try out different amplifiers, you can load up your house with all these amplifiers, but some people don't have the real estate to have all these amps. And also, some people don't have the kind of neighbor that would tolerate a lot of playing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the virtual guitar amplifiers from a company like Positive Grid, the quality is, I would say very close to, if not the same, and then the flexibility is beyond what a physical circuit can do. And of course, one of the best parts, especially for your neighbor, is that you can put headphones on because you're using your phone or you're using your computer to process. And then as far as experimenting and learning, you now have access to hundreds of amplifiers that you can play with, you can modify, all in the privacy of your bedroom, and also learn. I mean, you would learn the different sounds and different feature sets and mix and match. So you can do things you couldn't do with the physical pieces. And with Wave Arts as well, they have the new convolution reverb that is bringing the convolution technology, which has been a very expensive, highbrow kind of way to get ambiances. For example, if you want to get a cathedral sound, yes, you can take your choir and record it in a big cathedral downtown if you can get the space, and you probably couldn't. Or you could get the convolution reverb for that cathedral, and then you have several other cathedrals outside of your country that are available to you in a virtual way in this software. So for many, many reasons, I see it as an exploratory tool. I see it as a way to expand your brain power and your experiences. And of course, as a creative tool, having access to all of this palette, all these colors, is unprecedented. It's the absolute best time to be making music because the price is right, the power of the computers are so great that you can do so many simulations that you couldn't do before. So that would be my take on that. Yeah.
We're speaking with Mr. Ray Williams. He's president of Music Marketing Inc. And now we should move on to the wonderful programs that we had just talked about. So we're here with Dora, as you already know, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your product, about Wave Arts, and how it could be helpful for beginner musicians all the way to the top musicians who are making their own music, who are making their own synthesized sounds for their compositions.
Okay, so here we have Convex, which is Wave Arts' new reverb plugin. What's great about this is that the CPU processing is very minimal, and so as anybody who processes audio on a daily basis knows, this just eats up at your computer, and this allows for very minimal crashing. Another really cool feature about it is price-wise, there isn't anything yet, but generally speaking, Wave Arts is very affordable. So to have those two complement each other, for anybody in audio would be most helpful. And a last feature I would say is that anything that you do with their reverb is completely customizable. So you can customize the decay, you can customize the attack, and they have, as of now, it's still under development, but there are there's plenty of libraries available currently, and they're only going to be adding more.
That sounds really good. Can you tell us a little bit more about why the interface here would be better than, let's say, another software product where doing something similar to what you have?
So everything is created digitally as far as space goes, but the thing is that it doesn't sound digital, and that's really what you want to capture when you're making your own sounds. You want to have a very acoustic sound, or a very natural acoustic sound, and this kind of helps you create that without having to go through the hassle of, I don't know, finding something that's like ridiculously expensive and still trying to create the same sound as far as like a Canyon or something like that. So it helps a lot with that in that regard.
All right, no, that sounds really fantastic. Do you use this product yourself?
Actually, since it's still under development, I just got it a few days ago.
Oh, very cool.
Exactly. So like super exclusive, but it's great. I'm definitely going to use it in the future. I've been messing around with it a lot, the past few days, and it's definitely something that I want to add to my repertoire.
All right, that's wonderful. So this is Dora from Wave Arts. We just got a preview of the software, and it looks like they're still in production. It's going to be finalized. It's going to be looking great, and it will be available at Pitbull Audio. Thank you very much. So now we are here with our correspondent for Positive Grid. His name is Louis, but he likes to be called Lou. Before we get started, I'd love to know, how many times have you been at NAMM?
About 7 times.
He's been here for 7 times, people. And what do you think has been interesting coming back over and over through the years?
The one interesting thing is seeing all the same people that keep popping up because they want to keep seeing the same brands, but they want to see what's new ahead of time. And they really want to kind of get close and personal with the people that are actually involved with it. So it's more than just liking gear, it's wanting to be personal with their gear.
Yeah, no, that's really well said. So we are here to learn more about Positive Grid, and I'm sure Lou has a lot to tell us about this wonderful software.
Yeah. So Positive Grid basically is a company that actually creates amp simulations for many people that, let's be realistic, carrying around a half stack is not easy. So the fact that they make small heads that are lightweight, can plug it straight to a PA system, or even have power amps inside of them so you can connect them straight to a cab, it makes life easy. Not only that, but what I'm going to be showcasing is the Bias Amp Pro 2. Now, the great thing about it is that we've even teamed up with brands like Celestion, where they're now making the impulse response for the speakers, meaning that you can now get the tones that you would have gotten out of your cabinet anyways with our emulations. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's really cool. And it's really, you can really do a lot of personal changes to it, right? Like you can do so many things on your own.
Yeah, so you can actually create not only your own amp simulation and create copies of your amp using the amp match, but you can actually customize the style of it too. So you're not just stuck to the faceplate that they give you stock with it. You can even upload your own image and use that as the skin for your...
It's completely personalized.
Exactly.
All right, very cool, very cool. So what are you going to show us here or demonstrate with us here?
Well, the ease of actually switching out the tubes. Something that's as simple as literally just one click of a mouse. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's cool. So yeah, right now, as you can see, like on the front panel of everything you see whenever you open up the app, first thing you'll see is always your head. Just as always, this is literally called Bias Amp because we want to showcase the amps. Now, the great thing about it is, let's say you're using this amp right here. You like the tone, it's cool, you know what, maybe you want a little more mid-range on it, easy to dial in. But that's not the only tone factor that we actually have in this. And now with the new Bias Amp 2, we've actually added some more tubes in it. So you can actually switch out your preamp tubes for some of the new ones like the BH7s. Now what that gives you is a little bit cleaner gain before distortion. So what that means is, let's say you want to have a high gain, but you want to be a little more tactile. You want to get a little bit of a cleaner tone before you really start digging into those riffs. Well, you can actually really custom design your amp to do that for you. So you can really change the feel of your amp without having to choose a whole different amp simulation. Now, another part of that, same thing, you can change your tone stacks, you can change the power tubes. Now, the great thing is they added the 6550s and the KT88s. And the reason this is important is for a lot of blues amps, you want more gain out of it before it breaks up into distortion. Now with the KT88s, it gives you that because it's actually double the headroom of an EL34, which is standard in most emulations. Now, aside from that, as I mentioned before, the partnership with Celestion, we can literally just click over here, go to cab models, and right here, we have our drop-down menu for the Celestions.
Very cool.
Yeah. So you can literally just switch out the speaker you want.
Yeah.
And aside from that, for the guys that do a lot more advanced work, if they have their own impulse responses, which is what Celestion is providing us with, you can literally load it up or choose some of the factory ones that we have here. So you can take this and really kind of change the tone depending on what you want out of it. So you can go to vintage modern, go to type 8, and really choose your speaker type. And it's literally that simple to customize your own amp.
Yeah. That is really cool, Lou.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is Tu, correspondent for EnterTalk Media, here for Pitbull Audio, and we were just here with Lou, had a great demonstration of the wonderful Positive Grid software. So we are here with Louis, our representative for FabFilter, and Louis has some really great examples of why FabFilter should be on your computer. Why don't you tell us a little bit?
So pretty much FabFilter, just to clear up the air, it's more than just a filter. The company actually makes a variety of different plugins. We have an equalizer, a compressor, a multi-band compressor, a limiter, a de-esser, a gate, a saturator. We have delay units. We have a modulating filter along with a standard singular filter. We also have a VST as well. What we're going to be going through today is going to be the Pro Mixing Line plugins. They're very high-end audio plugins used by mixing and mastering engineers in the music industry on a daily basis. And I'll just go through and just show you guys a basic overview of some of the key features, whether it be for beginners or high-end users, professionals in the industry. All right, so our first plugin we're going to go through, which is our newest update to the line, is Pro L2. Now, this is essentially 4 different styles of limiters in one, so you have different options to choose from when mastering or mixing. You got transparent, punchy, dynamic, all-around, aggressive, modern, bus, and safe. Each one sounds differently and behaves slightly differently, and you'll hear through the examples. But really what separates this limiter from a lot of limiters out there is that it is now a true peak limiter. And it gives you a loudness meter down here with the new regulations for streaming, CD, broadcasting, and television as well. So now you have a visual representation of where your sound should be limited at. I'm gonna go with CD. And I'll just play my example. Now the cool thing about FabFilter is that the majority, almost all of their plugins can go full screen. You also have a visual representation of what's going on in the limiter. I'll activate the True Peak and I'll activate my True Peak limiter here. I could also oversample up to 32 times my sample rate project. Now this is a very, very versatile limiter, and I would recommend it for anyone out there that's looking to do any mixing or mastering at home or in a professional environment. Now our next example is going to be Pro R, which is one of our newest plugins that was added to the line. Pro R is an algorithmic reverb. What separates it from the rest of the plugins is it's very easy to use and includes musical terms such as brightness, character, distance, space, decay rate, and stereo width. It is also equipped with 2 built-in EQs, one EQ that increases or decreases the decay rate of specific frequencies within the reverb itself. So I could choose to have certain frequencies ring out more than others, and you'll see here through the graph below how these frequencies are lingering more than these down here. If I attenuate this, you'll see with the gold shimmery line that these frequencies are actually decaying quicker than these down here. So like I said again, very visual, and that's one thing that FabFilter is great with, is that not only do they sound good, but they look good as well. So you can use your ears and you can use your eyes when mixing and mastering. Now, Pro Q2 is a very versatile EQ, I could have up to 24 bands within the EQ itself, so no need to add more EQs on top. If I run out of bands, I mean, I don't think I'll run out of more than 24 bands, but I'm going to show you guys a real advanced technique that this EQ has that makes it stand out from the rest of the other ones. I have 2 loops here, 2 drum loops, and essentially I have a 70s style drum loop, which is James Brown, the funky drummer, and I have a more modern 2009 style drum right here, drum beat. Now what I want to do is I want to blend them together. Pro Q2 offers a new feature called EQ Match. An EQ Match allows me to steal the graph of another sound source and it'll replicate it for me. I'm going to route from my sidechain, I'm going to route the output of this modern beat to the sidechain of the Pro Q. Now you can see here with the red line, that is the frequency spectrum of the hip hop modern beat. Now I'm going to put the funky drummer back in. I'm going to go to full screen mode. I'm going to come right back down to EQ match. I'm going to hit EQ match. Now it's analyzing the waveform that's being sent to it, and it's going to replicate a graph to sound as close as it can to that hip hop beat. I'm gonna hit match. There it is. If I hit escape, I have a guideline now to work with. And I'm gonna bring the hip hop beat back into my main mix. And now they blend together.
How cool is that?
Right?
Yes.
Now, not a lot of EQs out there do that. Now that's Pro Q2.